Hey there everybody, T-shirt booth here for GSHelper.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use writable tables to keep track of locations of moved actors. So basically when the user is on the scene, they move things around, and you want to save that setting so that way next time they come back to the scene, or to the game for that matter, it'll keep track of where their actors were. So I'm going to hit next scene and come back. And you notice they're all back to where they started. But I want it so that way the users can move things around and it records where it is. So that way next time they come back to the game, it remembers everything. Picture like a sticker book or something like that if you wanted to, have the kids put the stickers wherever they want them and then, save that setting. So I'm going to show you a really easy way to do that. The first thing you need to understand is I've already created a table. And basically I've created 100 rows. I don't need 100 rows, but it never hurts to have them. And for column 1, I have my X values. For column 2, I have my Y values, and real and real. Now I don't have to go and set anything up. I don't have to set up my Y values and my X values because we're gonna make the processor do it for us. So I'm gonna go in. And I have my sticker actor, it's right here, and I've just gone and recolored them. One thing to note that I've already done is I have an attribute called myIndex, and it's an index attribute set to 0. And I've gone into every one of these actors and changed that. So that's 1, and then this one is 2, and this one is 3, and so on. So every single one of these has their own number. And those numbers will be used to call on the table. So if it's actor 5, it's going to use this row of the table. If it's actor 4, it'll use this row. So each actor is going to have its own row in the table. So we're going to go into our scene, and we're going to go and create a game attribute. I'm going to hit the plus sign, and I'm going to choose index, and we will call this index. Now, we're going to go into our sticker actor, or whatever it is you want to call it, and I have a rule that says when touch is pressed, constrain to mouse. Alright, that's just so we can move them around. We don't really need to do much with that. The whole point of this is to show you how to record the location. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a rule. And because gamesalad, I'm going to hit attribute here, because gamesalad doesn't let us use the expression editor in this section here, we have a hard time comparing cell values. So what we need to do is we're going to set up a self attribute here, and I'm going to call it index, and we want to basically check a cell value to see if it equals 0 or not. So we're just going to type in here 0. Now we can use this to compare to the cell values. So we're going to say if self attribute 0, which is 0, equals table cell value. I'm going to highlight table, and I'm going to add our own table here. Row. For row, we're going to use our myIndex attribute. So it's self myIndex. So it's going to look for its own row. And we're just going to check the X value. We're going to say, so column 1, because that's where the X values are. So basically what we're doing is we're saying if that table cell value equals 0, because this is 0, then we want to do something. And then what we're doing is we're actually checking to see if this has ever been done before. So if it's zeros, that means this is the first time that this actor is checking its location and doing what it needs to do. After the first time, it will never do this again. But we need to know if it's the first time or not. So what we're going to use is we're going to use changetablevalue. So if it is the first time, we're actually going to record the X and Y of that actor. So we're going to say table 1. For row, we're going to put self myIndex. And for X value, it's column 1. And then we're going to say self position X. And then we hit the little plus sign right here, and we're going to check. We're going to record the Y value, so that's column 2. Self position Y. Now, as you recall, I said this is we're only going to check this for the first time. After that, we don't need to check it anymore. But what we do need to do is we actually need to record the values and set them up again. So we're going to use otherwise change attribute, and we're going to change self position x to whatever is recorded in the cell value. So we're going to go table cell value, and then for table we're going to use game table. Row, we're going to use self my index, and because it's the x value, it's column 1 again. And then we're going to use change attribute self position y table cell value, and again we'll use our table, game table 1. Row will be self my index, and because it's a y value, column 2. So again, we'll just go over this again. So this right here is checking to see if it's never been used before. If it's never been used before, we're going to fill those table cells with the position of this actor. But if you start the scene and it notices it has been used before, it's going to instantly change the location of this actor to the appropriate location that's already been recorded in the cell value. So once we have that, that's done. Now what we need to do is we need to track whenever the user is moving it around, and then record the new location of where the user has moved it to. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new rule, and we're going to say if touch is released, we're going to change table value, and we're going to change it to our table. And for row, again, we'll use self my index, and for column 1 for the x, and we're going to record it self position x. And then we'll hit the plus sign, and we'll do column 2 self position y. So every time the user moves something around and lets go of it, it's going to record again the x and y location and overwrite the old location. And then at the end, for good measure, we're going to go save table and table 1. So we're going to constantly save it so that way it never gets lost. So now I'm going to hit preview, and if we did everything correctly, I'll go to the next scene. I'm going to move some stuff around. Move them all to this side. Now I'm going to go to the next scene, and I'm going to go back to this scene. And as you notice, they're all right where I left them. I'll put this over here, go next scene, go back, and it's right where I left it. So now forever and ever, when the user comes back to their scene, it'll be just as they left it. Now you can use this for a lot of different type games, and it's really easy to do, really easy on their processor, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked the video, please thumbs up it in YouTube, subscribe, and if you want to download the project file for free, just head on over to GSHelper.com. Underneath the video, there'll be a download link, and you can download the project file, play with it, do what you want with it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.